It set the stage for all those customizable polyphonic synths, and it defined the sound of the late 1970s and early 1980s in a way that no other instrument had. In 1977, Dave Smith was responsible for the invention of the first programmable polyphonic analog synthesizer, the Prophet 5, and led to a significant transformation in the synthesizer field, music production, and creativity by offering an extensive range of options for sound shaping. The synthesizer, which was produced between 1978 and 1984, known as the Rev 1 version, it is famous for his contributions to the history and trajectory of synthesis and sound design. It was the first synthesizer and electronic instrument with an integrated computer, features 61 keys, and could perform up to 5 voices of simultaneous polyphony. But before going any further with this episode, it is important to note that the material provided is purely situated on personal opinion based on research, and is not influenced by any sponsorship from the company in the subject. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. It is true that there are many additional polyphonic and great analog synthesizers that are known for their notable sound characteristics, like Yamaha CS80, Roland Jupiter 8, Moog Memory, Oberheim OBX, and of course there are many more examples that I will not cover them in this episode. The earliest version of the Prophet 5 had a 40 patches memory, while its later models from 1983 to 1984 could hold up to 120. Way back in 1974, Dave Smith, the man who founded Sequential Circuits, developed the Model 700's programmer, which allowed users of the Minimoog and the ARP Model 2600 to save patches to an external device. This basically was the foundation for creating the instrument that would change not only his own life, but also the way music is made today. Everything was partially possible by 2 technological advances: the solid-state music semiconductor and the Z80A microprocessor. Following an agreement to license the voice assignment from the EMU systems, Dave Smith proceeded to adapt and use this technology in order to enhance the functionality of his polyphonic keyboard. Utilizing his expertise in sound design, John Scott Bowen, who started to work with Dave Smith from 1976, successfully developed a collection of 40 pre-configured patches for the synthesizer. Originally referred to as the Model 1000, this particular instrument would rapidly attain global recognition as the Prophet 5. During the spring of 1977, Smith made the decision to give up his regular job so that he could put all of his energy into Sequential. Over that period, Rick Wakeman, a highly skilled keyboardist in the progressive rock genre, had established a partnership with Dave Smith. This was evident through his endorsement and participation in advertisements for the 700 and 800 models. The Prophet 5 name came from a suggestion made by Wakeman, whose idea was to rename the Model 1000 with something more interesting and magnificent. And indeed, it seemed that Prophet 5 was the right name and had all the prophetic abilities promised by the name it was given. It completely blew the minds of artists, and Sequential began receiving an infusion of pre-orders. Until that period, synthesizer players faced significant challenges. The availability of polyphony, a feature allowing many notes to be played simultaneously, had just emerged a few years prior, and even then, its accessibility was somewhat restricted. One might assemble a collection of Oberheim modules in order to get the desired 4-voice or 8-voice configurations. Or for that particular period, the Yamaha CS80 stood as one of the few available options for preset functionality. Even the most hopeful players with greater aspirations couldn't have included a polyphonic programmable and portable synth until the Prophet came along and opened up a whole new world of possibilities. Since it was the first polysynth that could store and retrieve sounds, many famous musicians and bands used the Prophet 5. The Prophet 5 gained a notable reputation among enthusiasts and musicians alike owing to its utilization by synth pop artists and rock musicians. Also, his sound capabilities was incorporated into musical compositions for films. However, in 1987 was introduced the Prophet 3000 digital sampler, marking the company's last product. Only a few dozen units were manufactured prior to the company's closure. The acquisition of sequential circuits was carried out by the Japanese multinational business Yamaha. No items were launched under the brand name Sequential, and it shut down in 1989 due to the unsuccessful performance of the TX16W digital sampler. Smith, along with the majority of the development team, moved to a different company named Korg. Their primary focus at the Korg company was the development of the WaveStation synthesizer. However, in the year 2015, Yamaha returned the name Sequential back to the company's founder, Dave Smith. By that time, Smith had been making hardware synths under his own name with great success. It was only a matter of time before another version of the synthesizer started showing up again. And eventually came the fourth version of the Prophet 5. From a technical perspective, the Prophet 5 is a polyphonic synthesizer which consisting of 5 voices, with each voice using 2 voltage-controlled oscillators known as VCOs. It included a resonant low-pass filter with a 4-pole configuration for each individual voice. The control of this filter may be achieved by the adjustment of parameters, such as the cutoff frequency and resonance, thereby permitting a diverse array of tonal modifications. The device had a 4-stage envelope generator, namely an attack, decay, sustain, and release ADSR envelope, which was used for modulation of both amplitude and filter. This facilitated meticulous manipulation of the features mentioned before. The LFO may be used by musicians to modulate a range of parameters, including pitch, filter cutoff, and pulse width. The panel came with a variety of knobs and switches, enabling direct manipulation of its properties. Due to its intuitive and tactile interface, this particular synthesizer has gained popularity among synthesists. The Prophet 5 gained recognition for its notable attribute of possessing a very stable tuning, therefore surpassing several preceding analog synthesizers in terms of tuning stability. It is important to note that the Prophet 5 went through several versions over the course of its existence, with subtle changes and improvements to its design and features. The Prophet 5's warm and lush sound, along with its programmability and polyphony, made it a staple in many music studios during the 1980s and beyond. Its impact can still be heard in modern music, and it is still a very popular vintage synthesizer because of its historic significance and unique sound. In conclusion, the Prophet 5 serves as a testament to the significant advancements made in electronic music technology and continues to be regarded as an emblematic representation of the golden era of analog synthesizers. Thank you for watching. If you liked my video, please thumbs up and also subscribe and hit the bell notification. Also, if you want to support my channel, the link is in the description.